Hello! In this video, I'll show you how to use Notebooklm to import the CLL Club website and automatically generate an audio explanation. The steps are super simple. Just log into Notebooklm, add the website as a source, and enter the URL. After that, with just one click, Notebooklm will automatically generate a summary and narration. By watching this video, you'll learn how to easily use Notebooklm to create your own original audio explanations. Be sure to watch until the end. Now let me walk you through the 6 steps for creating an audio explanation with Notebooklm. 1. Log in to Notebooklm. 2. Add a source. 3. Click on Website. 4. Enter the website URL. 5. Click Generate Audio Explanation. 6. Play. By following these steps, anyone can easily create their own audio explanation. First, open the Notebooklm website and log in with your Google account. Next, click the Try Notebooklm button. Next, click the Create New button. Next, add a source. From the available sources, click on Website. Enter the website URL. Once you've pasted the correct URL, click the Insert button. In the Studio panel, click Generate Audio Explanation. After a few seconds, the narration will be created automatically. Finally, press play to check the generated audio explanation. Now, let's listen to the audio explanation of the CLL Club website created with Notebooklm.
Welcome to the deep dive. Our mission is pretty straightforward. We take the sources you share, pull out the really key knowledge, those surprising bits, and basically give you a shortcut to being well-informed.
Yeah, cutting through the noise.
Exactly. So today, we're diving deep into Chiang Mai, Thailand. We're looking at it as, well, an optimal place for a long stay, and comparing it a bit with other popular spots in Southeast Asia, Bangkok, Penang, Kuala Lumpur.
Right, the usual suspects.
And your sources, particularly from Singo, that's a big Japanese long-stay community, right?
Yeah.
They give us a really rich picture of why Chiang Mai clicks for so many people.
They really do. Lots of first-hand experience there.
Okay, so let's unpack this. What is it about Chiang Mai? What makes it stand out?
Well, one of the first things that jumps out from the sources is this concept they call warm Chiang Mai.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it works on a few levels. First, the climate warmth.
Right. It's warm, obviously, it's Thailand, but maybe not as intensely hot or humid as other places. Exactly. The sources really emphasize that. It's warm, but the humidity is noticeably lower than, say, Bangkok or KL.
And why is that? The elevation, I think.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. It says at about 300 meters, which cools things down compared to sea level Bangkok. Plus, being inland helps keep that sticky humidity lower.
And no harsh winters like back in Japan, which is a huge draw for many, I imagine.
Oh, definitely. That consistent warmth, without the extremes, is a major plus for long-term comfort. It means you can actually enjoy being outside more often.
Yeah.
And it affects your energy level.
That lower humidity. It's more than just a number, isn't it? It's about daily life feeling, well, easier.
Absolutely. Comfortable evenings, pleasant walks. It adds up. But the warmth isn't just climate. It's also the people.
Ah, okay. Tell me about that.
Your sources consistently describe the locals as really kind, gentle, and this seems to tie into the city feeling very safe.
Safe how? Like low crime?
Yeah, remarkably so for a city its size. The sources even suggest a connection to Theravada Buddhism, this idea that doing good deeds brings good returns.
Interesting. Any specific examples?
Well, people mention things like getting forgotten change back, or lost wallets and phones being returned, stuff that builds a sense of trust.
Wow, that's pretty special these days.
It really is. And the temples, they're not just religious sites. They apparently function like community welfare hubs, helping the poor.
So that contributes to less desperation, maybe less petty crime.
That seems to be the implication in the sources, yeah. It creates this overall atmosphere of safety and community care.
Okay, so warm climate, warm people.
Right.
What else fits the warm Chiang Mai idea?
Wallet warmth, affordability.
Always important for a long stay.
Right, it came up again and again. The cost of living is significantly lower, especially housing and food.
Food must be amazing and cheap.
Oh yeah, tons of delicious, affordable Thai food, fruits everywhere. And interestingly for, say, Japanese long-stayers, there are also quite a few Japanese restaurants and grocery stores.
Yeah.
Familiar comforts are available.
So you get the local flavor, but can find home taste too.
Nice, exactly. And this affordability, it's not just about saving money, it's about the lifestyle it allows.
How so?
Well, you can eat out more often, maybe afford a nicer place to live without feeling stretched thin. It gives you a kind of everyday richness, maybe.
Yeah, less financial stress, more freedom to just live.
Precisely. And all these things, the climate, the people, the safety, the cost, they weave together to create this uniquely health-conscious and secure environment.
And healthcare. Was that mentioned? For a long stay, that's crucial.
It was. The sources point to a solid healthcare system. Large general hospitals are there. Some even have Japanese interpreters, apparently. And English is quite widely spoken, which helps with access.
Okay, good to know. So back to the climate for a second. You mentioned the lower humidity and temperature. Can we get a bit more specific? Like, how does it actually compare number-wise?
Yeah, definitely. Let's look at the data from your sources. It makes the difference pretty clear.
Okay, lay it on me.
Right, so Chiang Mai, despite being tropical, feels a bit more temperate because of that elevation we talked about. It has 3 main seasons. You've got the dry season, November to February. That's generally seen as the best time, really comfortable.
Nice.
Then the hot season, mid-March to mid-May. It gets hot, yes, but the sources say it's still okay in the shade, not as oppressive maybe.
Right. And the rainy season. Sounds wet.
Mid-May to early November.
Yeah.
But here's the key thing. It's apparently not like a constant, dreary Japanese rainy season. It's more like afternoon squalls, heavy rain, cools things down, then clouds provide shade. People found it more bearable than, say, a humid Japanese summer.
Huh. Okay, that's a useful distinction. Now the comparison number.
Okay, here we go for average conditions.
North latitude 19 degrees, average temp around 25 degrees C, and average absolute humidity about 17 grams per cubic meter.
17 GMR, got it.
Now compare that to.
Latitude 13 degrees, temp 29 degrees C, humidity 21 GMR. Latitude 5 degrees, temp 28 degrees, humidity 22 GMR.
Latitude 3 degrees, temp 28 degrees C, humidity 22 GMR.
Wow, okay. So Chiang Mai is noticeably cooler on average, and that humidity difference 17 versus 21 or 22, that sounds significant.
It is. And they use absolute humidity, which is the actual amount of water vapor, because it's a better comparison when average temperatures differ rather than just relative humidity.
Right, makes sense.
Right.
So what does this really mean for someone living there long term?
It means, like you said earlier, less of that heavy, sticky feeling, more comfortable evenings, easier to be active outdoors. It just generally contributes to a greater sense of well-being day to day.
Yeah, it really backs up that claim of Chiang Mai being a more comfortable long stay choice, climate-wise at least.
Definitely. The data supports the anecdotes.
Okay, so climate's a big plus. Let's shift gears to the practical stuff. Housing, getting around, the nuts and bolts of living there. Where would you actually live, and how much does it cost?
Right. Housing costs show a massive difference, according to your sources. They used a June 2022 exchange rate, just for context. In Chiang Mai, for a 2-bedroom place, maybe 60 to 120 square meters, inside the main ring road, the superhighway, you might be looking at, say, 38,000 to 76,000 Japanese yen per month.
Wow, okay. That sounds very reasonable. How does that stack up?
Dramatically different. Bangkok, for a similar size, maybe 70, 90 square meters, but near a BTS SkyTrain station. The sources suggest 285,000 to 342,000 yen.
Goodness, 5-6 times more, easily.
Yeah, in that ballpark. Penang and KL fall somewhere in between Chiang Mai and Bangkok, maybe 56,000 to 95,000 yen for Penang, 77,000 to 193,000 for KL. But the sources add a little note that apartments there are often larger, maybe typically 3 bedrooms, so the actual cost for a comparable 2-bedroom might still be higher than it first looks relative to Chiang Mai.
So Chiang Mai is clearly the most affordable for housing.
By a significant margin, yes. And this affordability ties into the city's structure too.
Oh, so the compactness you mentioned.
Exactly. Chiang Mai is built around this old city moat, roughly 2 kilometers square. It makes the core city very compact.
Meaning you can walk places?
Very much so. For many people, especially in the areas popular with expats or Japanese residents, most daily errands, shopping, eating out, even going to the hospital can be done on foot.
That's huge compared to somewhere like Bangkok where you basically live on the SkyTrain or in taxis.
Right. Or Penang and KL, which the sources describe as much more car-centric. That walkability in Chiang Mai is a massive quality of life factor.
I bet. Someone actually researched this.
Yeah, one source mentioned a university professor who studied long-stay cities and found Chiang Mai ranked really high for walkability to essential services, administrative, cultural, recreational things.
And if you can't walk, transport.
Still very easy and cheap. They have these shared taxis called songthos, red trucks, basically.
I've seen pictures.
Yeah, you hop on and off. Costs maybe 20, 30 baht for a ride in the city that's like, what, 100 yen? Super cheap.
Wow.
And Grab, the ride-hailing app, works well there too, and it's convenient. Oh, and the Japanese Consulate General is right in the city, which is handy for Japanese nationals.
So it's easy to live there without needing your own car?
For many people, yes. That combination of walkability and cheap local transport is a big plus.
And all this ties back into safety too, I suppose. Feeling safe walking around.
Absolutely. The sources really hammer this home. Chiang Mai safety is rated very good.
Meaning less street crime.
Yeah. Things like bag snatching, pickpocketing, common worries in big tourist cities are apparently quite rare in Chiang Mai.
How does that compare directly to the others?
Well, the sources note that Bangkok, Penang, KL have more of the typical big city crime issues, especially in tourist hotspots. There was even a quote from someone who lived in Penang and moved, saying Chiang Mai felt much better safety-wise.
And they linked this back to the Buddhist culture and welfare systems?
Yeah, the idea that maybe there's less desperation combined with that community ethos contributes to a generally more secure feeling environment, less daily anxiety about just walking down the street.
Okay, that paints a really appealing picture. Nice climate, affordable, walkable, safe. But the big hurdle for any long stay is often the visa, right? How does Thailand stack up there, especially compared to Malaysia?
Yes, the visa question. This is another area where the sources suggest Thailand, and thus Chiang Mai, has a distinct advantage currently.
How so? Easier process, lower requirements.
Generally, yes. Relatively easier to get a 1-year visa compared to Malaysia's main long-stay option. For Thailand, the requirement mentioned was around 3 million yen and a bank deposit.
Okay, 3 million yen. Or
a combination of a deposit and pension income could also work. The exact details can vary, but that's the ballpark figure cited.
Right. How does that compare to Malaysia? They have the MM2H program, right? Malaysia, my second home.
They do, yes.
Yeah.
But the sources highlight that the MM2H rules got much stricter back in 2021.
Stricter how?
Financially.
Yeah.
Significantly. Now, you apparently need to show proof of having around 42 million yen in financial assets overall.
42 million. Wow, that's a lot more than 3.
It is. And on top of that, you need to deposit 28 million yen in Malaysia.
Okay, so a much higher bar financially. Is there any upside to that deposit? Interest, maybe?
There is. The sources mentioned a tax-free interest rate on that deposit somewhere between 1.65% and 2.1%. But still, the initial requirement, that 42 million yen asset proof and 28 million deposit, is a major hurdle for many people compared to Thailand's requirements.
Yeah, no kidding. So purely from a visa standpoint, Thailand seems much more accessible for a broader range of people looking for a long stay.
That's certainly the impression given by the sources, yes. It's a crucial practical difference when you're planning.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. Pulling it all together from the sources you shared, Chiang Mai really seems to offer this unique package deal, doesn't it?
It really does seem to hit a sweet spot on multiple fronts.
You've got the climate, warm but not oppressively humid. which is a bigger deal than it sounds for daily comfort.
Definitely impacts quality of life.
Then there's the community, that warmth from the people, the general safety, the feeling of trust.
Yeah, a less stressful, more connected vibe, perhaps.
Plus, the affordability factor. Lower cost of living, especially housing, which frees up resources.
Big time. Allows for a different kind of lifestyle.
And the practicalities, walkability, easy transport, good healthcare access.
Makes daily life genuinely easier, less hassle.
And finally, the visa situation, which is comparatively more straightforward than somewhere like Malaysia right now.
Crucial point, yeah. Lowers a major barrier.
So if you connect all those dots, what kind of person or what kind of lifestyle does Chiang Mai really cater to based on all this?
Well, connecting it to the bigger picture, it seems uniquely suited for someone prioritizing overall well-being, maybe. Someone looking for that blend of community connection, safety, and financial ease over, say, the high-octane energy of a megacity.
Right. It sounds like a place where you can slow down a bit, live comfortably without breaking the bank, and feel secure.
Exactly. A more grounded, less stressful daily existence seems possible there. But like anywhere, there are always good and bad aspects depending on what you personally value, right?
True. Like if you crave constant novelty and big city buzz 24/7, maybe it's too calm.
Potentially, yeah. While it has modern conveniences, its pace is generally slower than Bangkok or KL. So you have to weigh that. What are your non-negotiables for a long-term home? It's very personal.
A very good point. It really makes you think about what constitutes quality of life for you personally. So maybe the final question for you, the listener, to ponder is, how might living in a place like Chiang Mai, with this particular mix of tradition, warmth, convenience, and affordability, actually reshape your own daily life and your sense of well-being?
It's a compelling question to consider.
Indeed. Well, thank you so much for sharing your sources with us and for joining us on this depth dive into Chiang Mai.
My pleasure. Always interesting to explore these destinations in depth.
What did you think? Isn't it amazing that you can create such a great explanation just by entering a website address? I hope you'll give Notebook LM a try too.